a very new and an original concept I came with. It's a very new concept. I don't think I've read it anywhere before, but I
Mhm.
hope everyone likes that concept. It's a murder.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Prodigy Talks back at 1 p.m. And today I have with me a famous author, a fictional author, from my understanding, Aarit Gupta. Aarit, how are you?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm fine. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here, Aarit. And how are you doing in this pandemic, Aarit?
Sir, the pandemic's certainly been really tough for everyone. I mean, humans are social beings, and this pandemic is based on the premise that we have to be anti-social. However, I have
Yeah.
tried my best to make this pandemic the most productive by writing and doing like opening up a blog by the name therustictypewriter.com, where I published several
Could you
articles,
come
stories,
again?
poem,
What
and
What is the
quotes.
blog called? What is
So
the
it's
blog
the
called, Aarit?
rustic typewriter.com.
The Rustic Typewriter. And could you spell it out for those people who might spell it?
Yes, sir. It's TheRusticTypewriter.com. So it's where I
Okay,
publish my articles, stories, and poems.
very well. So, Aarit,
And
how old are you? And what do you do, Aarit?
I'm currently 16 years old and in 11th standard. I'm from Yamunanagar, Haryana, India. And I'm author of the book The Flames of Beginning, which I wrote when I was 14. And that is basically my passion. Writing's my passion, and I want to become an author in the future. Apart from that, I'm a blogger, like I said, the blog's name. And apart from that, I also have interest in debating and yeah, debating. That's my other passion, except for writing.
So, when did you find an inclination towards writing, Aarit? How long has this journey been for you?
So basically, when I was, I guess, 11 or 12, I started writing blogs and reading some books. And after I wrote those blogs, which were basically crime thrillers or some other adventurous fiction or other fictitious categories, I started to publicize those blogs on social media. Many people started liking those blogs. They said that I did write in a good manner. They found the stories very interesting, and that really encouraged me. My parents also encouraged me that the blogs were actually really good, and drawing on that encouragement, I decided to write a book. And basically, I the book was The Flames of Beginning, which was also a compilation of 10 short stories, which were mysteries and crime thrillers. So, and it also included a poem. So that's how I got into writing. I started reading books and writing blogs, and the encouragement I got really helped me to write a book.
So, you've chosen a very specific genre for Flames of the Beginning. I was just reading about it on your website. Why thrillers?
So the thing is, when I started reading, one of my first books were thrillers only. I started with Hardy Boys when I was about 11 or 12, and I got into Agatha Christie and other crime thriller authors. And what I really like is how you just have to sit back and enjoy the thrill of the ride. How you need to wait till the end about what will happen. The excitement and the suspense really got to me, and that is what inspired me to write crime thrillers. And that is my genre because of the excitement and the thrill. And I also like to thrill my audience with that, and the suspense basically is what I liked.
Very well. So, any one of these incidents are from your real life, or is it all a fragment of your imagination that you keep writing?
The poems, I might say, is something based on feelings, concepts, and what I think about. Like my poems are environmental, based on environment, dedicated to the environment. They are based on what I think. The stories are a figment of my imagination of how a killer is actually caught, how do you create suspense, and how basically you can create thrill in the audience. So they are what I think, and I like to stay up at night thinking about how to write new stories, how to write these new crime thrillers. And basically the stories are what actually help me stay up at night thinking about them. So yeah, it's basically what I think and an imaginative part.
And this is where I have to ask you: do you have any siblings, Arit?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So you don't have to scare anybody.
So, yeah, I mean,
No, if I come up with a thrilling story, the first thing I'm going to do is try it on my sisters and see if at all they get scared. If the boogeyman didn't show up, then I'm going to be like, oh, this is not thrilling enough. So let's let's take them out. So who do you run all these stories with? Is there somebody that you bounce it off? You tell them, hey, this is what I think the storyline is. Do you do that with anybody?
yeah, after I have actually like I'm working on my second novel also, and it's also based on a murder mystery, and it's a crime thriller. So after I actually decide my stories, and after I basically decide the whole concept, think about the whole concept of how it's going to end, how it's going to start, what is going to happen in the middle, what are the twists and turns in the story. I basically ask my parents to give it a read. Once I tell them the concept of what it is, and they encourage me obviously to write more, because like the times that I've done this in the past, they have liked the concept very much. So that's what I do. I bounce the stories of them, and they really encouraged me to write more after they heard the stories, the concepts.
That's wonderful. So your parents are the first ones you talk to about a story, and are they
Yes.
ever under any, because they know you well, they can't see you like a third person. You're their son, and are they open with their? Do they talk to their son Arit, or do they talk to the author Arit?
It's a mix of both, I might say. In between, they encourage me. They tell me, yeah, they encourage me. It's a mix of both, I might say, because they also encourage me as an author. They encourage me as a son too.
Very well. So do they give you criticism as an author?
Yeah, where it's required, obviously, like if some part of like where they feel like I should be morally obligated to do something as an author too. And they obviously there's criticism that actually helps you grow, because if there's no criticism, you're not going to grow. If there's only encouragement, you also need to work on the paths that are really required. They tell me like what paths I could work on better to make the story more better. It's my concept, but yeah, criticism is also required everywhere in your life to grow.
Very well. So, Arit, you've started writing about 5 years back actively, right? Before that, has anybody seen your scribbles and then said, hey, you should definitely write? I mean, did that spark keep happening earlier in your life as well?
I mean, I did write some of my stories when I was in school, and some teachers liked them, which obviously was an encouragement, because they said the stories were great. And the stories I wrote, even in the exams, the papers were also highly marked. And so, yeah, they told me the stories were great. And when I started writing blogs, everyone on social media and everyone I knew also said that the stories, the thrillers were great. So, yeah, that's what happened.
So I'm going to take it that, this spark was there early in your life and you started exploring it more concretely when you were around 11 to 14. And then you published your book when you're 14. So the flame of beginning is your earliest memory of writing. Is that correct? Arit, are you there?
Yeah, sir.
Sorry,
Yes,
I
yes.
believe there was a bit of a problem with my connection. All of a sudden, I had a blip, and then I had to go. I mean, I'm back again. So Flame of Beginning is your only book, or have you written other books that are published as well?
So basically, The Flames of Beginning was one of my first books, but apart from that, there was a poem that I wrote, and it was published in a book which was a compilation of many poems that was selected from some of the poets. It was so yeah, that was another book. It consisted of one of the poem I wrote. Otherwise, Flames of Beginning is my first book, and uh, I work on my blogs obviously, and I am working on my second book, which will be released hopefully by next year.
Very well. So, what is the second book called?
So it's poetry.
It's a poetry. Okay. Are you at the liberty of telling us anything about that?
Yeah, like it's a compile. Like I said, it's a compilation of many poems from many poets who were selected by a publishing industry, and so after they were selected, they were just published, compiled and published in the book.
Yeah. No, I was asking, you are working on a second book, like a full book right now, right?
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
hoping to
Oh,
publish it by
okay,
next
okay,
year.
sir.
So I was asking about that.
Yeah.
Do you intend to, I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, so sir, it's also a crime thriller, which is a very new and an original concept I came with. It's a very new concept. I don't think I've read it anywhere before, but I
Mhm.
hope everyone likes that concept. It's a murder mystery with many twists and many new things that are not generally there in some other books, and I hope everyone likes it when I release it.
Lovely. No, I don't think you should let out the suspense so early as well. So thanks for.
Yeah.
I thought you might give us a little bit, but you didn't. So it's good. Uh, Arit, so you've been writing, and your parents are supportive. And do you have like a go-to person apart from your family, where you consider them, they support you in the process? Is there somebody that you look up to as a mentor? Tell us a little bit about that portion of your life, please.
So I believe that my parents were my only mentors, but the encouragement did come from the society. I believe, and apart from my parents are my go-to people because they encourage me, and the society also encouraged me. My teachers were obviously there, who told me the stories were really good. They bought the book and they read it, and that's basically what it was.
Very good. So, as your friends might have read this book as well,
Yes.
right? And I think friends can be some of the best critics or support as well. Is there anything that you can tell us about that portion of your life? These are all young people. They're like, hey, you should have written the story this way. I'm sure somebody would have given you something else. And somebody might say, no, why did you kill that person so early? I liked him or her. So, how are those interactions for you?
There were not really that many, but yeah, my friends did read the book and they found it really interesting. They said that I should write more. They said that the stories, especially there was a train story in the book about how there's a train where some gold is being transported and by a group of smugglers, and the police have to catch them. So it's about them, and many people like that story too. My friends especially like that story. They said that story was really great, and apart from that, I believe I can't really remember any criticism from my friends right now, but they really did say that the stories were quite interesting and they would love to read more in my next book.
Lovely, lovely. So, Arif, I've seen your website and I see that you've been writing about not just, there are other things you've been writing about as well. Um, do you look out for this inspiration anywhere? You just keep saying, hey, that happened today in the news, and then you sort of develop a story around it, you build up and you imagine the rest. And do you look out for inspiration like this?
So novels really do help me when I read crime thrillers, yes, and everyday incidents are also important. We live in a social society. We do have to keep track of everything that's happening everywhere. We can obviously draw a concept from what is happening in real life and twist it in a way that is interesting to the audience. So the novels also, like I said, help me. The novels do have some interesting concepts, and they can give you an idea about how you can develop a concept on your own. So these are certain things that can help you develop a story. on your own.
Okay, so you look out for existing novels, you look out for real life scenarios. Okay, in your opinion, which is the best crime thriller you've read or seen as a movie until now? There might be a few,
So
but just give
I
us a hint
did
of
read a
something.
book by Agatha. Yeah, sir. So I did read a book by Agatha Christie that was known as N and There Were None. It was basically about how 10 people are stranded on an island. They're called to that island. They're stranded on that island without any call for help or anything. And one of them is a murderer who has been murdering all the 10 people one by one, and all of the 10 peoples were accused of a crime when they entered that island. The crime they did not even know they committed and was outside the bounds of law. So that was a very interesting crime thriller I found, about how 10 people are on an island and you need to identify the murderer. So that was one of the best crime thrillers I've read till now.
Very well. Any movies that you've seen that you said, "Hey, I like this"?
So Sherlock Holmes was a good movie, I guess, and yeah, there are several other crime thrillers that I did see on TV. There are several TV series like The Blacklist, the several other crime thrillers, and yeah, those really do help build imaginative base. But yeah, those are
Very
the
well.
crime thrillers I saw on TV.
Well, funny enough, Blacklist and all that come with parental guidance, but you're writing crime thrillers already, so there's no problem there. Good. No, I have been following a little bit of your Facebook posts, and I've been trying to understand what sort of a journey you've been having. How has this whole selection of you being a prodigy affected you? How has it been for you?
Uh, Sir, obviously, being recognized by the Global Child Prodigy Awards was a very big honor. I mean, being among being among such children who are so talented is also very great, and it's obviously a boost to my morale, and it helped me in my career also, I believe.
Very well. And have you spoken to the other prodigies? There are fellow authors also there.
So, yeah, at the Global Child Prodigy Awards 2020, I did speak to a bunch of the prodigies, and they were really interesting. They did tell me their stories about how they became an author. It was lovely interacting with them, and I hope I can interact with more some other authors and prodigies in the future.
And anybody that you were intending to work with by any chance?
So I can't really remember a name, but yeah, I love to work with anyone who would like to collaborate with me on any book, or would like love to, and I would love to share my ideas with them, and like we could collaborate together.
Arit, Arit, there seems to be a bit of a problem on my side with the power supply, so we're going to get disconnected quite often. But do not step off the line if that's okay with you, and so that we can continue our
Yeah,
conversation.
sure, sir.
Uh,
Sure, sir.
so, Arit, I'm glad that you spoke about the Prodigy Awards, and it does every time I see somebody like you and I sit down and I say, hey, I mean, all these prodigies have tremendous poise and clarity, and they know what to do. Do you have like a vision for your next 5 years? Is there so many books you want to write, or I don't know? What do you have in your mind for you?
So I would like to pursue a career in writing. Like I said, I'm working on my next book. It would be released by next year, and after that, I love to read more books and write more and study something related to writing only in English, English honors or something in college, to pursue my career in this field. And I'd love to grow up and be a writer. In the next 5 years, that's where I see myself.
All right. I wish you all the very best with this, and I think whatever you do it with. I can see a lot of clarity in you, and I wish you the very, 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 very best. And Arif, is there anything you want to tell all the other aspiring people out there who are looking at you right now? And then, is there anything you'd like to share with them?
Well, the only thing is that we need to keep following a passion no matter what. You may be told by someone that be a doctor, be an engineer, or something, but do what you want to do. If you want to be an author, then keep writing. Keep reading the books related to the genre you write. Keep reading books related to the topic you write. That would really help help you in developing your own concepts. And that's what I want to say, that don't be what the society wants you to be what you want to be. That's what I believe should be there for everyone. We should be what we want to be and follow our passions. And whoever wants to write, they should become an author. They should write more, and I'd love to also talk to other people who are an aspiring author, and to help them for the future.
Very well. I wish you all the very best, Arif, and I look forward to your journey. And I sincerely hope we get to meet again, maybe at the next Prodigy Awards or so, and where you publish your next book as well. All right. All the very best, Arif. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was great to be
And
here.
to thanks a lot. And to everybody out there, we'll be back again at 1 p.m. tomorrow with another Prodigy, as we are running on the 1 p.m. schedules now. Whenever the international talks come in, we might be shifting to the 7 p.m. on and off, but please bear with us so that we can give you, we'll keep you updated about the time much in advance. Thanks a lot, and see you again tomorrow, everybody. Bye bye.